What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Crazy Game Monkey here, and today I'm going to be showing you some gameplay of SpeedRunners. This is honestly one of my favorite party games, especially to play split screen, because it does get really competitive and people tend to be, on the edge of their seat trying to win. But besides this, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. If not, I hope your day does become amazing. And I want to share a little story with you guys. I believe this is the first time I ever do like a story time, or I don't know if you want to call it story time or whatever, but actually this recently just happened. So I was going to work and I had lost my keys. It was funny because you just get in the habit of locking your car without like really remembering it. It's kind of just muscle memory at this point. But yeah, so I get to work and I get out. But the thing is that I kind of had like a little bit of trash in my car. I just had like a few face masks and like an empty water bottle. So I decided to grab all that stuff, so that way I could throw it away when I get to my workplace. But besides that, I was kind of like not in a rush, but I was kind of just had my hands full. But yeah, and then I just remember getting out of my car, walking to my work, and I just had a handful. So I'm pretty sure I did lock my car, but I don't remember. It's just one of those things that kind of goes by you. But besides that, so I believe I locked my car. I was walking, and then there was a trash can outside, and then I went ahead and threw the mask and the water bottles away. And then I went inside, clocked in. Everything was normal. The thing though is that I was just going on about my day. I was working, probably like an hour or two goes by. It's break time. Everything seems normal, and then after break time, I go back to work, and then I had to use the restroom. So I went to the restroom probably like 30 minutes after break. I use the restroom, then I come back out, and then I go to a different station in my work area. But out of nowhere, I just felt the need to check my pockets for my keys, and then I realized I didn't have my keys. So I was like, okay, whoa, what's going on? Where are they? And now, mind you, this is already probably like almost 3 hours into my shift. So at this point, I was kind of like panicking, and I was like, okay, well, let me check my back pockets. They're not there. Let me check my front pockets. They're not there. So I'm like, interesting. Okay. And then I went to the bathroom because I just came out of the bathroom. I just came out of the bathroom like 10 minutes ago. So I went back. But unfortunately, the stalls were occupied. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not sure if my keys fell out of my pocket there and then when I was in the bathroom, or if it fell out before. Remember, it's already been like almost 3 hours into my shift, and I do not remember locking my car. So at the same time, I was like, okay, well, it's either in my car. Hopefully it is in my car. It's either in my car or somewhere around here in the warehouse, and I would have to check it. But I'm not sure. It's one of those things where you're just kind of like thinking about, trying to rethink, and you're like overthinking at this point. So I was like, damn, okay. And then I still had like two more hours to go, and basically I was like, I had asked like one of the upper people. I was like, oh, I think I left my keys in my car. Is there any way that I could check? And then they were like, you can, but you have to clock out, and then you would have to clock back in, because the parking is like not far, but it is quite a walk. So basically, corporates don't want you wasting time, so that's why they want you to clock out and clock in. But the thing is that it's gonna take like an hour away from like my unpaid time, my time off or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just wait. In the meantime, I could kind of be like searching, be like on the lookout for my keys. And then after like 20 minutes, I just kind of like gave up. I tried looking at the spots, and I was just more convinced, like, okay, the keys are in my car. I shouldn't worry right now. I'm good, So I go on about my day, still a little panicked. And I was like, okay, the time is almost up. I checked the restroom one more time. The stalls were still busy. And then I was like, okay, what's going on? Anyways, so finally, It's ready to clock out. It's almost time to clock out. So I went ahead and I clocked out, and then I went to my car. And then I was like, at the same time, there was still people around, and I didn't want people to think I'm like breaking into my own car or whatever. So I kind of waited a little bit to, try to open my door handles or whatever, because I didn't want people thinking that I'm like stealing. But yeah, so at this point, 20 minutes like passed by, and then the coast was clear. So I was like, okay, let me check my car. And no, I couldn't see my keys in like the seats, or usually I put it like on the side where like the door is, and I couldn't see it there either. So I was like, okay, well at this point I need to call AAA. Thankfully I did have the app, so that way they could get my information or whatever. And because also I leave my wallet inside my car at work, so like my driver's license and everything is in there. So I was like, damn, okay. Thankfully I do have the app. I called AAA 30 minutes later. 30 minutes later, they were gonna come like 30-40 minutes later. So I was like, okay, well let me go inside my job and let me try checking around, asking security to see if they like, found any lost keys or whatever. And they were like, no. And I was like, okay. Well, at this point I'm like, okay, well hopefully I'm just praying that they are in my car. AAA finally comes. They open the car, and I check inside, and the keys are not inside. And I'm like, okay, what now, bro? There's no way I could get home. And it's one of the keys with the key fobs, so it has like those keys that detect the remote, the push to start. So it's like I literally can't go anywhere without the key. And I'm like, okay, well at this point, what can I do? I went back inside the warehouse. I tried like checking, and then I contacted the higher upper again. I told them like I basically filed like a loss report, that if anybody does see the lost item, they're to report it or whatever. So at this point, I'm like, I just contacted like a family member. I'm like, oh, can you come pick me up? I'm gonna leave my car here. At this point, I was like, okay, well I'm gonna check back tomorrow, which is I'm about to go in a few hours. And I'm like, okay, hopefully they did find it, and then that's that. But if not, worst case scenario is that I would have to get another key. I would have to purchase another key, which I got an estimate for about $400, and it wouldn't arrive for 2 to 3 days. So I'm like, damn, I'm gonna be carless for a few days. The other worst case scenario is that somebody got the key, they're waiting, and they're gonna just take the car when I'm not there. So I left the car there in the parking lot overnight, hoping it's still there by the time I clock in again. And yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much my story. Bottom line is, don't forget your keys, I guess. And yeah, but I guess if you guys enjoyed this, consider leaving a like. Hope that I find my keys or whatever. Pray for me. And yeah, because this kind of killed my mood. And yeah, so hopefully you guys do have an amazing day, and hopefully my day turns around as well. And I'll catch you on the next one. It's Crazy Guy Monkey. Peace.